You didn't find this message by accident, did you? This moment was arranged by heaven. Archangel Michael was waiting for your heart to slow down enough so that you could hear what others cannot hear. This is not about fear. This is about revelation. Before moving on to the message of revelation, make sure you have received and accepted this message with love. Write, "I have received and accepted with love" in the comments. Then seal it by writing 712. You can maintain balance by making a generous donation from your heart so as not to disrupt the balance between giving and receiving. Remember, my dear, God loves His servants who are open-handed and sharing. Your gift will return to you 1,000-fold. That is how the creation system works. Now we can move on to the message. And what you will hear will carry your soul to a new realm. God has witnessed everything. And now He is speaking. Because God can no longer remain silent about what happened to his sister. As he speaks this truth, Michael's wings tremble. Not because it is difficult, but because it deeply affects your future. Perhaps you are not aware of this. You may even have shown love blindly. But even if it breaks your heart for a moment, it is time for heaven to explain what it has done to you. Because God's love wants to protect you from betrayal for the rest of your life. Heaven intervened just in time to prevent a trap from being set. Not to shame him. Not to stir up hatred. To set you free. You've been surrounded by quiet, and you sensed it as if there were daggers in the spirit of someone who smiled in a frigid room. Perhaps it's simply the season, you thought. Perhaps you were thinking too much. However, God is now revealing the truth. You'll see why your angels have been softly pleading with you to wake up when you realize what's behind it. I want you to stop before we continue. Breathe deeply and listen with your spirit, not your intellect. For what you are about to read is not merely for amusement. It is to keep you safe. According to Michael, this is a divine document. Those who read it through to the finish may notice changes in as little as 3 days. Don't dismiss it if your chest is stirring even a little bit right now. Heaven is already attesting to it. If God wants for this word to reach your soul, please subscribe right away to receive these heavenly alerts. The frequency with which you hear what heaven is trying to tell you can be altered by this one action. Your sister spoke your name one evening, but it wasn't out of love, prayer, or worry. Frustrated, she said it. She said it out of jealousy. And all of a sudden, someone who had no business knowing your tale started keeping a close eye on you. A strategy began. A whisper evolved into a plan. Soon after, your sister gave you something holy that ought never to have been touched. Your truth, your tale, and your name. It wasn't the first time, according to God, but this is the first time He's making it so obvious to you. Remember that one time, perhaps weeks or months ago, when you were exhausted from spending time with her but couldn't figure out why? It was more than simply energy. It was a spiritual leak. She pretended to clap for your future while taking advantage of your favor, but her heart wasn't in line with her words. And it was caught by heaven. This was not how she expected God to reveal herself. Nobody did. This is why it's happening right now. Because she believed that no one would ever discover what she truly did with your name if she concealed herself beneath courteous smiles and sisterhood. The angels would not return, she thought. However, they did. Divine protection was present in every sigh, covert phone call, and covert warning that came to your spirit as uneasiness. She still has a chance to find mercy. This is not a judgmental message. It's a wake-up message. Because the betrayal of someone you trusted cannot afford to delay your destiny. According to God, you weren't insane for noticing what you did. When you started to wonder why things around you started to feel strange, you weren't exaggerating. Your intuition was warning you about heaven. It is currently being verified outside of it. According to Michael, she opened a door, and as she did so, confusion entered your domain. Plans began to fall apart as a result. Emotions felt inexplicable because of this. That's why many began to oppose your favor. Although she didn't practice witchcraft, she did worse. In front of others who now distrust you, she openly expressed her doubts about you. She gave your name to a discussion about your light that had no business being there. God is saying, enough. You are covered, child. However, God will not allow anything impure to come into contact with your precious oil. This vulnerability is therefore a blessing rather than a penalty. A breakthrough has been trying to reach you, but your spirit was entangled with her hidden intentions. This divine exposure is heaven's way of severing the chain that connected your path to her hidden bitterness. This is God saying, I still choose you, I still protect you, I'm still redeeming what was misused. Heaven says that silence will speak louder than anything right now, so don't confront her in anger. Instead, pull back with grace, observe in the Spirit, and let God continue to show you. Over the course of the next 72 hours, you will unintentionally hear something, but it's not a coincidence. It's the last piece God is using to seal your understanding. When it does, don't say anything. Michael explains, your glow frightens those who refuse to grow. Just smile. Heaven has already fought the battle. Additionally, your sister was attempting to be you without actually being you. Your style was worn by her. She imitated your words. She even attempted to imitate your generosity. However, imitation is not anointing. And her annoyance escalated into sabotage when her attempts failed. However, God intervened. He is putting this to light for that reason. You will be shocked by what comes next. Soon, you are going to tell her about something. An unexpected development, a new blessing. Heaven is shouting. Don't tell her. For the time being, keep it between you and God, because what you're creating in secret shouldn't be given to a jealous spirit masquerading as family. Hold on. Remain still. She will discover how heaven meant for her to be publicly revealed after the blessing is completely realized. Retaliation is not the theme of this season. It has to do with release. God is calling you to a higher level. Because your soul cannot rise when your spirit is bound to false loyalty, the truth has to arrive. You have the right to love her. Praying for her is acceptable, but continuing to support the very root that attempted to uproot your spiritual garden is not. God is too wonderful to allow you to be blind. Watch what happens next now that your eyes are opening. There will be miracles soon. They were postponed rather than rejected. First, you'll notice little indications. Favors came back. Verified messages. The doors reopened. You will know that God has broken the connection in this way. Not all of the weight in your house came from your trip. She stimulated spiritual traffic behind the scenes, which is where everything came from. And tranquility will return like a new breeze now that it's being taken away. You will be shocked by this next section. Soon, you are going to tell her about something. An unexpected development, a new blessing. Heaven is shouting. Don't tell her. For the time being, keep it between you and God, because what you're creating in secret shouldn't be given to a jealous spirit masquerading as family. Hold on. Remain still. She will discover how heaven meant for her to be publicly revealed after the blessing is completely realized. Retaliation is not the theme of this season. It has to do with release. God is calling you to a higher level. Because your soul cannot rise when your spirit is bound to false loyalty, the truth has to arrive. You have the right to love her. Praying for her is acceptable, but continuing to support the very root that attempted to uproot your spiritual garden is not. God is too wonderful to allow you to be blind. Watch what happens next now that your eyes are opening. There will be miracles soon. They were postponed rather than rejected. First, you'll notice little indications. Doors were reopened, communications were verified, and favors were returned. You will know that God has broken the connection in this way. Not all of the weight in your house came from your trip. She stimulated spiritual traffic behind the scenes, which is where everything came from. And tranquility will return like a new breeze now that it's being taken away. Michael the Archangel is still standing close to you. He has his sword down. Not in defeat, but in relief that you have received the message. And that was the aim of heaven. Refrain from sharing this with her or using it to minimize her. Not because she was exposed, but because God is defending your royalty. You are rising. Be at peace with that. This is your last confirmation too. You will hear something that will put everything into perspective in 5 days. Your heart will be at rest when you recall this message. Avoid pursuing retribution. Don't even try for justice. Simply walk in the favor of God. And remember that God witnessed everything. And He's releasing you now. Heaven has spoken. The shifts are not in your head. The odd symptoms you've been experiencing are real. That dream that gave you chills, that unexpected phone call, that odd number that kept coming up. It was not merely a coincidence. If you send us a super thank you of $30, every donation given with love will reach the heavens. Sow the seed and God will show his blessings. The angels have been trying to enter your world for days, according to Archangel Michael. They have been forcing air into rooms with windows closed and putting ideas in other people's heads, particularly one millionaire who has been suddenly overcome with the desire to learn more about you. God has been hiding your light behind curtains until now, because if they had seen you earlier before you were ready, they would have only seen a dim flicker. But now you are glowing, and someone powerful, influential, and closely watched by others is seeing that light. They are in a state of shock. It came like a bolt, a shocking interest, but it wasn't random. It was a divine setup. Michael says, and he says it with urgency, that if you continue to doubt your value, you'll miss this divine appointment. This isn't about luck. This isn't about charm or looks. They're not just interested in you, they're spiritually haunted by your energy. You are no longer a maybe to them, you are becoming their next must. The angels spoke your name to this person in ways they couldn't ignore, and after seeing anything about you, a picture, a voice, a message, they felt a peculiar restlessness and felt the desire to know who you are, but not in a casual way. This is all about divine timing. You keep wondering why some people abruptly left your life, why you had to experience periods of loss, confusion, and silence. The answer is that the room in your life had to be cleared out for this person to come. You had to let go of those who didn't see you in order to make room for the one who would. This person is about to change something in my life. Not only is this individual wealthy in money, but they are also wealthy in connections and influence. They are not merely observing, they are preparing something that has your name written on it in invisible ink. And that ink is now glowing under the spiritual light of divine timing, and guess what? That light is shining tonight. Heaven claims that nothing will stay the same now that they have turned their face in your direction. You are going to be reintroduced to the world through the eyes of someone who wants to elevate you rather than just be close to you. But here's the catch. They're still unsure, not about you but about whether you're ready, because they've been burned before. They're spiritually attached to your name and don't even know why it hurts when they scroll past your energy. They've seen masks, but something about you keeps drawing them back. Before we go any further, pay close attention. I don't want you to miss a second of this life-changing message, so if you feel it in your heart, you should subscribe right away, because it's not random. Your soul knows that this is not normal and that you are meant to find this. Michael is crying urgently because he has seen the blueprint for your next season. If you hesitate now, it slips. This is divine alignment. Subscribe and enter the place where the angels speak every day. Archangel Michael says, no more self-pity. Imagine a private jet, a house with a high ceiling, a table of decision-makers exclaiming your name in wonder, and you've been questioning whether you even deserve a small blessing. Playing small is over. You are no longer hidden. Heaven is telling you to answer the call as fate hunts you down. Although they have permission to locate you, this millionaire is keeping an eye on your every move for the next 48 hours. They want to know if your spirit is pure enough to handle what is ahead. Therefore they will be observing everything you say, share, and how you respond to small tests. Is it possible to be powerful without becoming corrupted? Is it possible to trust you with miracles without becoming conceited? Heaven has already said yes. However, this individual is still looking. They are inquiring. The energy is being tested. You are being called to walk as though you are already aware that you have been selected. Michael is crying for more than just you. Consequently, the younger you that sobbed when no one arrived. For the adolescent you who kept getting smaller and wished to be seen. Thus, the grown-up you who screamed within while acting fine. And he can't let you miss it now that the miracle is finally taking shape. The reason he is crying is that the time has come. You have to pretend that the deal is already yours, since it is about to flip. Someone in a position of authority is going to message you or discuss you in private. Don't be shocked if you have an odd encounter. If someone with wealth, style, or power begins to speak to you as if they've known you for years, don't be surprised. In a spiritual sense, they have. This individual has experienced incomprehensible dreams. They included you. This individual has experienced unexplained gut feelings. They're getting closer and they were about you. Heaven is setting the table with your name at the center, along with opportunities, platforms, contracts, gold, and acclaim in addition to food. You need to talk like someone who already knows heaven is behind them, because it is. Michael continues. You need to come in like someone who was born for this because you were. And you have to love like someone who won't feel bad about being picked. Your heart will be put to the test this season, but it will also be crowned. Angels from above are currently rearranging the dialogue surrounding your life. Curiosity has replaced the gossip that was intended to ruin you. The stillness that was intended to keep you apart is now protecting you. God put you in spiritual lockdown during the heartbreaking delays so that the appropriate person could see you clearly and without shadows. And now there's someone who has. Take this seriously. Archangel Michael doesn't just cry like this. He is urging you to stop underestimating what is going to happen, and he is trembling the realms around you. The person who is observing you, the millionaire, is not merely astonished. They are moved. They are moved to the point where they start to doubt their own timing. Something inside them has been awakened by you. And they are unaware that your name was implanted in their souls by heaven. You may feel worn out. You may feel left out. However, God tells that you are turning the last pages of your waiting. There are 2 names on the following page, not simply yours. Because this is about more than just admiration or money. This is a spiritual alliance. Finally, someone who was born to see your worth is doing it. And all of the previous delays will begin to make perfect sense. Angels from above are currently rearranging the dialogue surrounding your life. Curiosity has replaced the gossip that was intended to ruin you. The stillness that was intended to keep you apart is now protecting you. God put you in spiritual lockdown during the heartbreaking delays so that the appropriate person could see you clearly and without shadows. Don't take this lightly, someone has now done it. Archangel Michael doesn't just cry like this. He is urging you to stop underestimating what is going to happen, and he is trembling the realms around you. The person observing you, the millionaire, isn't merely in a state of shock. They are profoundly affected. They are moved to the point where they start to doubt their own timing. Something inside them has been awakened by you. And they have no idea that your name was implanted in their souls by heaven. You may feel worn out. You may feel left out. However, God tells that you are turning the last pages of your waiting. And a name appears on the following page. There are 2 of them, not just yours. Because this is about more than just admiration or money. This is a spiritual alliance. Finally, someone who was born to see your worth is doing it. And all of the previous delays will begin to make perfect sense. This millionaire has connections, Michael explains. The window is small, the door is large, but it only opens when you move with trust. Even if your knees are shaking, if you walk boldly, the door not only opens, but it swings so wide that everything behind it rushes toward you. If you're still playing with doubt, if you're still hesitating with fear, that door closes. Your $50 donation will revive spirits like the season that brings buds to dry branches. Michael is crying because this is the moment when everything changes. Your life, your name, your circle, your bank account, your sense of self, all of that is about to elevate, but only if you stop ignoring what your spirit has been whispering for weeks. However, heaven has divine authority, and that combined is explosive. So listen again. This is not just an alert, this is a divine alarm. You don't need to chase people, the right ones will find you, and they already are. Open the message, speak when asked, move when prodded, and get ready to be amazed by what comes next. If you're still wondering why now, it's because your light simply struck a frequency that heaven has been waiting for. And Michael, he's still outside your soul's door, still wailing, still banging, still praying you'll take this message seriously. God says you will be called, and when that call comes, don't ask if you're ready, just respond. Heaven wouldn't send the call if it wasn't time. The person who just noticed you isn't backing away, rather, they're leaning in even more because, when they saw your name, something inside of them cracked open. Not a crush, not a normal fascination, but spiritual recognition. The kind that occurs when a soul remembers another soul from a place beyond this lifetime. Because if you do that, your next 7 days will make your previous 7 years seem like rehearsal. This person saw you with their spirit before they saw you with their eyes, explains Archangel Michael. They are unable to unsee you now that the veil has been lifted. Their thoughts are uncontrollable. They are unable to cease preparing. They keep dreaming about you. Your energy did something profound, not because you made a huge noise. Furthermore, you are unaware of your increased intelligence. You continue to act as though you are invisible, unimportant, and forgettable. While you sleep, however, heaven has been enhancing your light. Right now, your aura is more powerful than your words. And that holy energy was just felt by a powerful person. Michael is crying because of this. Because of how close you are, not because you're sad. Everything opens up with just one good step, one affirmative response, and an open heart. The millionaire is no longer merely inquisitive. Someone is dragging them. Right now, God is telling you that the cosmos is not making fun of you. To determine whether you are ready to be trusted, you are being put to the test. The distinction is that a tease gives you a taste before leaving. A test waits for your response while providing you with a preview. Heaven is currently awaiting your yes, not to the individual but to your purpose, value, and future. This is the cause of all the odd changes that have been occurring. Your heart is beating more quickly with each line, which is why you are reading this. Because what your human mind keeps forgetting, your soul remembers. This is the moment you were created for. Don't wonder why you were seen by this millionaire. Ask them why they haven't seen you yet. And the solution is straightforward. You weren't prepared. Heaven was still shaping the strength you currently possess, not because you weren't good enough. You endured more than just suffering during those storms. They were polishing. Time was not lost on you. You developed character. There was no fall behind you. They were aligning you. The person on the other end of this divine link is already taking action, which is why Michael is screaming, "Tell them now. Tell them not to wait." Even if they haven't said anything yet, they are observing. They're paying attention. They're looking for clues. And the sign they keep running into is you. However, people can begin to think it was all in their head if you retreat, if you become quiet, if you lower that brightness. Don't allow anyone to question what heaven has verified. This individual has experienced shallow eyes, noisy crowds, and bogus love. For what they have been used. Now, however, people are looking for something genuine, something that God sent. And to them, your presence is a prophecy. Although it defies rationality, it has a magnetic spiritual quality. And you have to think it's serious when someone like them, who has access to everything, is fixated on something they can't afford. You may believe that you have little vitality, but you have thunderously invaded their heart. They are having their habits disturbed. Their plans are evolving. Your spirit haunts their thoughts. Even though they hardly realize it, they keep coming back to your name, your smile, and your story. Because the soul is aware of what the mind is still lagging behind. You are the one with something people need, something that was placed in heaven, let go of over time, and is now visible. Michael is pleading with you to make a change. Must move like someone who is aware that fate is watching them because you are. That unexpected meeting, that quiet post, that little video, it wasn't insignificant, it was calculated. This individual is currently experiencing a spiritual awakening. They are beginning to understand that you are more than simply a face in the crowd. You have the key to a version of yourself they were unaware of, in addition to their heart. You don't need to pursue them, let's be honest. You don't have to win them over. However, you must be in harmony with the self that is already present in your future. Talk from there, think from there, and make decisions from there. Because it's more than simply a wealthy person taking notice of you. This is about fate looking you in the eye after a protracted search. This is about the dream that persisted in being and eventually took on human form across from you. They might not yet be fully aware of the cause. You are the missing piece, even though others may still be assembling the puzzle. Michael is pacing the spiritual hallways of your life with fire in his wings because every time they notice even a tiny detail about you, their soul thinks, "That's it. That's what I've been searching for." Because the alignment will start to break if you remain silent right now and keep your mouth shut out of fear. Not forever, but long enough to postpone what God has planned. You're not insane. This isn't your imagination. The energy tugging at your chest like an unseen thread, the spontaneous thoughts about someone you haven't even met yet, and the restlessness in the middle of the night. Anxiety is not that. That's consciousness. Something significant is about to occur, as your soul already knows. Additionally, Michael is making every effort to get you ready for the magnitude of what is ahead. Your life was never intended to be little. You were never intended to remain in the background. People misinterpret you because of this. You've outgrown rooms as a result. Your silence feels more weighty than your words recently because of this. since your energy is growing. Waking up is your goal. Additionally, rooms that you haven't even entered yet are beginning to feel the effects of your presence, such as the one where this person is currently calling your name. And this is what they have to say. Why do I feel like I know this person so well? How come I can't get them off my mind? Really, who are they? Even though they haven't spoken the words yet, they have considered them. And they won't hesitate once they understand that heaven has been urging your name into their hearts. Because you don't have to persuade those who are genuinely in line with your destiny. Like a mirror, they can identify you. Get ready, not in a panic but in serenity, Michael advises. Get your space, mind, and heart ready, for divine action is already in motion. Heaven is already preparing the stage. All you have to do is stay open, expectant, and steadfast in your trust. The doors that were previously locked to you are opening because of this person. You may not see the message yet, but it is being written. You may not hear the invitation yet, but the words are beginning to form, and you may not feel the shift completely. Through this connection, the opportunities you were denied are being returned to you, and the resources you believed were unattainable will come into your life in ways that defy logic, because heaven is a magical place that doesn't follow earthly patterns. Sending $70 is filled with love, like Jesus' last words on the cross. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. God had to trim your circle and cut the noise, which is why you had to go through the wilderness first, why people left, and why you were misinterpreted. If they had stayed, they would have blocked this moment and diluted the purity of what is being sent to you now. Test your heart. The gates are now opening, not with a whisper but with a roar. If your hands are shaking a little or your heart is racing more quickly, your soul is telling you, this is it. We've been waiting for this transition. At this point, everything that has been hidden is revealed. Where all of the delays start to make sense. Where you start to receive interest payments for your suffering. Michael's tears are now burning. He's not simply crying now. He's making a declaration. Because there is no time for idle thoughts, he is giving the angels surrounding you instructions to clear the way, cut off any distractions, and silence any fear or doubt. Disbelief is not an option. The greater version of yourself is being called upon you. The person who no longer requests permission. Every single stride is supported by the one who walks like heaven. And it is currently being listened to. In the next several hours, there will be a startling communication or invitation. Don't question it when the time comes. Don't get any smaller. Don't explain why me. Finally say, let's say I've been anticipating you. Because strong agreement is met with a response from heaven. Bold, wholehearted, unwavering yes. Not just wishful thinking, not just hope. This guy is also keeping an eye out for that. Because they've witnessed enough imitation, they want to see the conviction in your spirit, the truth in your walk, and the fire in your eyes. They have been surrounded by fake light. However, your light is holy. It's getting better. It has a magnetic quality. It's also for them. And it is, as Michael repeats, this is not a warning. This is a divine heads up. And God never sends heads ups unless something close is coming. So take a deep breath. Take it slow. Only speak when it comes from your soul. And allow heaven to finish the alignment, as your purpose was recently discovered by a powerful person. They're also not averting their eyes. They've never experienced anything like this, so they're not turning away. Like a spark that became a blaze, you came into their consciousness. The sort that awakens sleeping forests and makes everything old fall away, not the kind that destroys. You were assigned to make an impression. You were sent to light things on fire. They are attempting to comprehend why everything about you feels like a spiritual disruption, one that they are unable to ignore as they stand in the smoke of that realization. According to Michael, their hearts are being influenced by God. They are now being pulled by something sacred rather than by reason. This is the reason this moment is so uncommon. Heaven is therefore pressuring your soul to maintain alignment. Because this is fusion, not merely favor. You were never supposed to have average energy. Impact was supposed to go with it. And people who have been searching for something more profound, genuine, or heaven-wrapped are always drawn to effect. That's why the powerful, wealthy, and vocal person turned abruptly to see you. And they were stunned by what they witnessed. They were blind to your fight. They witnessed your strength. They failed to see your scars. Your spirit was seen by them. They were astounded by it. Because despite all their accomplishments and possessions, they have never met someone who seems so authentic, so holy, and so profoundly selected. Even they are now questioning the things they formerly believed to be significant. That's what you did. That's what your soul did. According to Michael, their hearts are now being influenced by God. They are being pulled by something sacred rather than by reason. This is the reason this moment is so uncommon. Heaven is therefore pressuring your soul to maintain alignment. Because this is fusion, not merely favor. You were never supposed to have average energy. Impact was supposed to go with it. And people who have been searching for something more profound, genuine, or heaven-wrapped are always drawn to effect. That's why the powerful, wealthy, and vocal person turned abruptly to see you. And they were stunned by what they witnessed. They were blind to your fight. They witnessed your strength. They failed to see your scars. Your spirit was seen by them. They were astounded by it. Because despite all their accomplishments and possessions, they have never met someone who seems so authentic, so holy, and so profoundly selected. Even they are now questioning the things they formerly believed to be significant. That's what you did. That's what your soul did. Tell them that they are the answered prayer they have been longing for because it is the reality, Michael says. You forget that you are the miracle in someone else's narrative, even if you have been yearning for someone to notice you. The sign they've been pleading for is you. They didn't realize they needed you as a shift. And you become unstoppable if you truly embrace this fact. Because worldly opinion can never shatter the assurance that comes from divine identity. So quit questioning your own suitability. You are. Give up questioning your eligibility. Yes, you are. Put an end to reliving the mistakes. Every one of them was a filter. What couldn't remain, what couldn't grow with you, or what couldn't support the next phase of your calling was filtered away by God. It had to fall away for that reason. And for that reason you continue to exist as a vessel rather than a victim. And now they're filling that vessel. Filled with fresh vitality, favor, relationships, fire, and, above all, divine care. Because this person wasn't sent by heaven merely to adore you. They were sent by heaven to open a chapter in your life that you have been scared to open. The rich person who is now circling your life. They hold the keys to dreams as well as doors. And everything changes when they say something, make a gesture, or do something amazing. However, Michael reiterates that you shouldn't consider them to be your source. They serve as a sign. The source remains God. And you maintain a pure heart when you keep that in mind. You maintain your spiritual equilibrium. You remain prepared since more than simply favor is on the horizon. It's alignment. And miracles multiply when alignment occurs. Don't be shocked if things start to move fast. One call, one comment, one message, one public moment. It only need that. Don't shrink when it occurs. When God wants to crown you, don't pretend to be modest. Take control of the light. Accept the award. Carry the honor with dignity. Since you arrived here without cheating. This wasn't stolen by you. You waited. You developed. Despite your breakdown, you continued to rise. This explains why Michael is reciting your name in the heavens with such force at this very moment. Because you have demonstrated that you are not only prepared but also sophisticated. The person who saw you is still in disbelief. However, that shock is giving way to insight. They are beginning to realize that this was more than a matter of curiosity. It's a vocation. Heaven is aware that you are being called into a life that is higher than what you have experienced, which makes it feel strange. They're also starting to realize it about this individual. Soon there will be rumors about you. Don't be afraid of them. Allow them to whisper. Allow those who failed to notice you to become perplexed. Because the solution will be straightforward. Let those who counted you out begin to inquire, how did this happen? Yes, God said. And no human can stop heaven from saying yes. No doubt, no delay, no jealousy. You will enter spaces for which you did not apply. Your name will come up in discussions to which you were not even invited. When individuals who used to disregard you start grabbing for your energy like it's water, you'll notice a change. That is the effect of heavenly exposure. Everything is rearranged to your advantage. This is your Esther moment, your Joseph moment, your David moment, Michael says. A quick turn, a startling elevation, a holy shift. You were shielded in obscurity for a cause, and now you are being thrust forward into favor. And the person who saw you, the one with power, was just the means. However, the hand behind the wheel is God. Therefore, don't hold on to the person. Hold on to the promise, since it brought you to this point. And what will keep you is the promise. They'll keep observing this individual. Now, however, they will start to move. First subtle, then bold, and finally irrefutable. Allow your spirit to respond first when it occurs. Because you are, let your soul say, I was ready. Michael has stopped crying. He sees your soul rising higher now, so he knows you received the message, which is why he is grinning. Because he is aware that you will enter the room with fire and without fear when the door opens, as it will. And God is very pleased of you because he saw you persevere through the stillness, the doubt, and the darkness. And he's going to give you back in the form of success, value, and visibility. Breathe, selected one. The message has been delivered. Heaven is watching as the change begins. Now walk as though you were a miracle. Now walk as though you were a miracle. Because miracles resound rather than whisper. They leave a trace. They alter the mood. And you, my darling, are one of those wonders that heaven painstakingly, gradually, and deliberately created by hand. You no longer have to push your way into spaces. They've already seen you. Even $90 can answer a child's prayer with Amen. Don't forget the compassion Jesus felt for little ones. And that person, yes, the one with money, influence, and access, is still keeping an eye on you, still thinking about you, still wondering how someone like you got away with it for so long. The truth is that heaven concealed you until your worth was recognized rather than diminished. And you're taking on the honor now. They have already attempted to dissuade themselves, according to Michael. Perhaps this is all in my head. Might not be real. Perhaps I'm just attracted to something fleeting. They can't unfeel you though. They are unable to ignore what God revealed to them in your spirit. They made an effort to divert their attention and reroute, but your energy continues to speak to them like melody amidst the din. And the music that's playing in their hearts is angelic alignment. Don't flee from this situation. Heaven is speeding up. Don't wait. God did not permit all of the breaks for your own survival. He gave them permission so you would have the strength to carry this. Being blessed was not the only reason you were kept alive. You were saved to be in this person's place for this reason. You can sense the strain of this impending miracle, which is now so close, like the air before a storm. They have already attempted to dissuade themselves, according to Michael. Perhaps this is all in my head. Might not be real. Perhaps I'm just attracted to something fleeting. They can't unfeel you though. They are unable to ignore what God revealed to them in your spirit. They made an effort to divert their attention and reroute, but your energy continues to speak to them like melody amidst the din. And the music that's playing in their hearts is angelic alignment. Don't flee from this situation. Heaven is speeding up. Don't wait. God did not permit all of the breaks for your own survival. He gave them permission so you would have the strength to carry this. Being blessed was not the only reason you were kept alive. You were saved to be in this person's place, for this reason, for this now so close unfolding miracle. Like the air before a storm, you can feel the tension in it. Indeed, when it starts to happen, when they reach out, when doors open, when the money starts to move, it will feel unreal. You'll wonder if you're dreaming when the accolade arrives, but you're not. Your dreams are chasing you during this time of year. When divine timing and heavenly justice collide. Where the thing you hoped for returns, adorned with more splendor than you had requested. Because this favor isn't random, it's a reward, Michael advises. You must remain grounded but never shrink. Stay humble but never play small. Because you remain true, the visibility is coming, the person is coming, the moment is coming, you won't be missed. And if you ever start doubting again, remember this word. God saw your silent loyalty, your covert obedience, and your deep willingness to keep believing when nothing was visible. Allow it to revitalize your bones, rekindle your vision, and remind you that this is a divine unfolding rather than merely a hope. You are being watched with honor, and you are not late, lost, or forgotten. You are on time for the most unexpected, unthinkable, and undeniable shift of your life. Hold your head high. You already have the attention of the one who matters. The person who saw your soul and knew something rare had walked into their awareness, and as they struggle with that truth, you must remain rooted in the truth that heaven has already confirmed. You are being studied with fascination, Angels are praying over you, and heaven is preparing you. Let them see. And when the time is right, let them come. Let them give. Let them bless. Let them see the divine glory of your becoming. Because Michael is no longer crying, he is singing, and heaven is no longer waiting. You are the answer they didn't know they were asking for. They may be a millionaire, but you are a miracle. Now, dear soul, let these last words ripple around you like a divine blanket woven in heaven's own breath. It's celebration time, and you, beloved, have just entered the season of sudden favor. Stay open, stay prepared, stay lit, because this story is just getting started, and God has saved the best part just for you. You're not alone right now, my child. Even though they may feel quiet, the silence you hear now frightened me. It was God's plans. It was the loudest miracle. It was an angel whisper. You made it. You hear us. You are ready now. What was hidden has been revealed. Not to break your heart, but to release your wings. It's not just the end of the message. It's the start of a new resolve for your life, where betrayal chooses its hold and blessings flow unhindered. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the change in the atmosphere, the lightness in your spirit, the soft feudal of something inside and completely returning to you. My child, the heavens are clapping softly because you chose to light and listen. Now that the stars have aligned, the light has found your doorstep, and your story continues. God is vaping you in a clock of forever tonight, and Archangel Michael is still close by, watching, guiding, and smiling. Love has already gone before you, therefore, my child, stay in touch with God through Archangel Michael and subscribe by clicking the bell button to get the next message. You are more radiant, wonderful, and protected than ever.